Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of An Idiot on Board. Here is another Project Custard update for you all. We have got, let me think, we're 1 weekend, 3 days away from the Dragon Rally. We are now on the 31st of January and the Dragon is on the 9th and 10th, if I remember rightly. Yeah, so as you saw in one of my updates a while ago, I killed the throttle cable on Project Custard. So now I need to repair that. I've got a few other little bits and bobs to do as well. Got to repair the throttle cable today because that snapped. I've got to repair the indicators. The way that came around, to be fair, was I had some rock straps on the back and I forgot to tighten them up, and basically looped round the back wheel and pulled the indicator and shredded it. But not only that as well, I shredded the indicator, I also bust this, so it pulled itself through. So I've got to get some washers and things on that and repair the mudguard as well, because like I said, the rock strap flat down, wrapped around the rear sprocket, completely spun that around, snapped that and snapped that. Not only that though, it destroyed my rock strap as well, which cost money, and I'm a cheapskate, so I wasn't best pleased with myself. But yeah, so we've got to do all that. We've got to get that indicator sorted, we've got to get the mudguard sorted, we've got to get the throttle sorted, charge up the battery because she's gone flat again, and go from there. So come along, see how we get on today. Hopefully we'll get majority of it finished. I literally have a little bit of time today. I've got Thursday and Friday and that is it. I've got the weekend with my family and then it's a whole week of my walk rescue course and then I'm straight into Dragon. So literally, this is it. Go on then, let's go see. Being the muppet that I am, I marked up my the screws in the top of the tank, in the tank flap, whatever you want to call it, tank flap, that you need to take out in order to take off the tank surround plastic bit. So there's 6 screws in there, I think. Yeah, six screws, something like that. Yeah, 6 screws, and 3 of them are false and 3 of them are genuine. So I marked up 3, thinking, there we go, I'll remember to take those out in future. Look what I've just done. I marked them up, look, painted the tops black, left those ones silver, so I've gone, I'll take out the black ones. And the ones that are marked up, if you can see that, the ones that are marked up are the false ones. I've got to take all the others out now. Best laid plans, eh? Best laid plans. Right, let's crack on. Oh, I forgot to mention as well, I've got, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I've got the fork leg to do as well because it's leaking. I have bought seals for it, but like I say, I've got 2 days, I've got school hours, so maybe like 10 hours, and 10 hours sounds a lot of time, but in reality, when you get distractions and stuff, sorry if the camera's wobbling by the way, it's windy, get distracted and stuff, so I am actually a little bit worried. Don't get this back on the road, if I don't get this back on the road, then I can't go to Dragon, and I really want to go to Dragon, so I need to stop talking and get on with it. Don't want to take the tank off, but I think I'm going to have to take the tank off. Just realised something. We all know that these obviously don't have fuel gauges, or at least most of them don't as far as I'm aware. Now, when I broke this throttle cable, I was actually on my way to work. I was going to go and do a CBT. I was going to go do some motorcycle instructing. I thought I had plenty of fuel, and you know, I was just carrying on. And I've just realised that actually I have relatively nothing, and I probably would have run out of fuel if my throttle cable hadn't have broken. I mean, there's a little tiny bit left in the bottom. Can you imagine that? At least my throttle cable snapped. I didn't look like such an idiot, but I'd have been with some students and run out of fuel. That'd be a different story, wouldn't it? Oh, my fuel anxiety is... Oh, you gotta love this bike, can't you? It is such a learning curve. Such a learning curve. Alright, let's get that tank off and let's get this bit sorted. Oh. That wasn't quite as painful as I thought it was going to be, actually, if I'm honest with you. Let's get a new one back on, get a tank back on, let's start on the next bit. What I'll do is, I'll do it off camera and I'll come back to it when it's done and we're ready for the next bit. At some point, somewhere along the line, I don't know if that is, because that's a hot grip, look. So I don't know if that is a plastic hot grip that's been put over the top of the original throttle cable, cam, whatever you want to call it, or if that is like an aftermarket hot grip. But regardless, that has been absolutely butchered at some point, and I think that's possibly one of the reasons why my cable snapped. I bet you it's been rubbing on there. And over time, it's frayed and frayed and frayed, and it's gone. They should have like a, you know, a bit of bit more plastic there with a line in it, which sits the cable and just makes it go in and out of the throttle housing nicely. Why would you do that? I don't get it. Regardless, anyway, it's all I've got. I'm gonna have to try and source a new one. Has anybody got a new one that they can send me, give me, lend me, whatever? I don't want it to go again. I'm actually quite concerned that may snap on me next. We'll see. Let's get it back on and we'll go from there. Indicator lens has been replaced with a new one. Got to find a replacement bulb now because that's bust for obvious reasons. I have, however, got on the way coming a new pair of, well, I say new pair, second-hand set of indicators for the front and rear, which a very generous chap called Nathan on the owners group has donated to me for Project Custard. So Nathan, when they get here, mate, I'll get those sorted and I'll get them on and make up, well, whatever I need to do to get them on, because I really appreciate that, mate. That's such a kind gesture, and I think they'll look wicked on Custard, and they'll be less likely to die as well, quite frankly, like those ones did. Right, cracking on then. So indicator's done. Need to fix mudguard. I've put the tank and that back on. I think the throttle's set all right. A little bit of play in there, which is good. And then I need to do mudguard and just get cracking. Both of my, I think I did have one fork stanchion that had burst the seal, but I think both have gone now. If you have a look at this, look. Ugh. So this was the one that had definitely gone. It's a bit of a mess, but looking at that one now, I think when I went out on my shakedown run, that one went as well. Luckily though, I've got both. I've got a pair of seals to go in. They are cheap ones. I know people say buy cheap, buy twice, etc., but I just need to get it done quick to get it to the Dragon. I wasn't, to be honest with you, I weren't prepared to pay nearly 60 quid, probably more than that actually. I think it was 15 quid per dust seal, but whatever it was, 60, 70 quid or something daft in fork seals, when I can get a set for like 16 quid off of eBay, which I've done. I may need to replace them again soon, but so what, at least it will get me to the Dragon for now. Right, mudguard, crack on. got the battery on charge. Now I need to start him up and make sure that the cable's set correctly, and make sure that there's no pulling of the cable and no undue accelerating when I don't want it or expect it. So let's get it started. Bit of joke. Oh! Look at that, not been started for a couple of weeks. Bang! Good old reliable, eh? Well, when the battery works anyway, at least. Right, let's have a look at this. So let's go a lot that way. Nothing. Nothing. Yeah! Come on, Custard! Well, I think, to be honest, I'm gonna leave it there for today. I've had enough now. I've got to go pick my lad up from school soon. So I will carry the video on. This is just like part one of said video, and I will gonna get on with the fork seals tomorrow. So I'll catch you guys tomorrow. Morning, morning, morning. How are we all doing? It's day 2 now. Day 2 of the next bit of the Project Custard restoration. We've got to make it to the Dragon, haven't we? Today we've got to do the fork seals. Now this is going to be the tricky bit, because I do know what I'm doing, but I don't know on this bike. I'm assuming it's relatively similar to everything else I've ever done. And then B, I'm going to try and be really cheeky and do it without taking each individual leg out. So I'm going to try and take it all out in one go with the wheel intact and all the rest of it. And then not only that, but you've seen my garage before and you know it's a docile and I don't know where all my tools are. So I've got to try and figure this one out. Yeah, let's crack on with it then. What I've done then is I've loosened the top yoke mount bolts, and all I'm doing is just cracking off the heads of the shocks, so that when I need to take these off to get the oil out, I don't have to muck about with this, with the stanchions spinning or anything like that, because they're still clamped in at the bottom. So crack these off and then get those bottom ones out. Hey! Got my fork legs out now. In the end, I did have to take the wheel off. I was trying to be clever and it backfired. Next thing to do is I've got to take the stanchion. I've got to take the caps off the top, take all the innards out, get rid of all the old fluid. Then the stanchions have got to come out of the bottom fork legs. So underneath here is a little bolt, and that holds the stanchions in place. Now they are notoriously on any bike really, they're normally Loctited in or quite stiff, so usually you have to put these in a vise so that you can crack them off. So I'm hoping that I don't need to do that, but we'll see. That absolutely stinks. Don't know when this was last done, but they stink. Oh dear me. Removed dust covers now, and I've just had a quick look. So this one has got retaining clip in, which I've removed. That one, which I think was the initial one that was leaking, doesn't look like it's got any retaining clip in at all. And the state of that seal, not sure when these were last done, but yeah, one seems to have a retaining clip in and the other one doesn't, which probably says why it was leaking. It's obviously slowly worked its way out and started leaking. So I thought I was going to have 2 retaining clips that I could put back in, but I don't, so I'm going to have to order some now. That one has cracked off fine and is coming out. This one looks really corroded. It looks really corroded in there, and it's starting to turn the head. I've got brand new sockets for this, and it's starting to twist, so I think I'm gonna have to get an impact driver on it. Hopefully using an impact, like a tap one rather than a gun, that might bring it out. But yeah, if I strip this, I've got a big problem. Big problem. Got to show you this. This has really just wound me up, actually, in a way, and I'll show you why. So I'm there trying to slide out my stanchion. I've got the bolt out the bottom. I'm trying to slide it out, and it won't come out. And I'm like, why the hell is this not coming out? It's all been unbolted. It should come out now. There's no retaining clip on the seal, so it should just all pop out. Look at this. So that I showed you a minute ago, the top of the seal, which I thought was the seal degrading and falling to bits, wasn't. It is literally a piece of paper, a piece of blue roll look, which somebody has decided that they want to stuff in the top of there. Look, stuffed it in the top of there, because there's a retaining clip, look. So that's the other one that came out. So that's the one there that I thought was totally dead. There's only one reason why you would put that there, and the one reason for putting that there would be that your fork seal's leaking, you know it's not going to pass an MOT, and you can't be asked to change it. Why try and bodge it like that? All that's going to happen is you're going to lose your fork seal, and eventually you're going to lose your handling, and you're going to damage your head bearings, and you're going to damage your bike and potentially chuck yourself off. Don't bodge stuff. I mean, okay, I'm cheap, I am cheap, and I like a deal, and I like bodging stuff, but in the best way possible. When it comes to stuff like that that's safety, do it properly. Do it properly, people. Sorry, that really wound me up, that did. That really wound me up, because it now makes me think, what the hell else is there? What else is there? I'm going to have to go through this with a fine tooth comb and really have a good look at what else might be bodged, because that is ridiculous. Right, I've had me whinge, I've had me frustrated moment, so I got on with it. I've got the stanchions out the legs now, they're all sorted, as you can see, and I've got the seals out. Problem I've got now though is this, look. So on the stanchions you've got two bushes, you've got one there and you've got a second one just there. Now this bush sits in the bottom of the fork leg, and that bush sits in the top of the fork leg, which obviously stops the stanchion from wobbling and rattling as it goes up and down. These wear out over time and need replacing, but you know, as it stands at the minute, this bush, show you, so this brass bushing, whatever you want to call it, sits in the top of there, so it goes down in between the stanchion and the edge down there. Don't know how clearly you can see that, but down there anyway. Hold on, wibbly wobbly. So it sits in there like that, but the problem that I have is this now needs to get knocked down there into that gap. So the issue that I'm having, look, is I can't put it in there, knock it all the way in, because then the stanchion won't slide into there, because that lower bush won't go through that when it's in there. So I've got to somehow put the stanchion in, then knock the bush in from the top. I haven't got anything to do with. If I had a wider pole, if I had I've got an old fork leg, but it's the same diameter as these, so I can't slide it over the top and knock them in. If I use something like a screwdriver, there's potential that I'm going to end up damaging the bush. On one of the bushes I can already see that it looks like that's been done before, and it's got lips on it, and that's ideally that could do with replacing as well. However, I don't have one and I haven't got time now. If I order one, it's going to be in the middle of next week and I haven't got time to do it middle of next week, simple as that. I've got literally an hour and a half today and then I've got whatever time I've got tomorrow. But I can't leave Custard out there on the driveway overnight. I need to get the forks back in tonight so I can get him back in the garage. Oh, I'm so frustrated right now. Really, I'm frustrated right now. I've got to think of something and I've got to think of it quick. I'll have a think and I'll come back to you. I've just spent the last sort of hour mucking about with one of these bushes and seals and I finally managed to get it in, well, near enough. So I was just finishing off tapping the seal down so I could get the retaining clip on there, and then it dawned on me all of a sudden. That little bit there needs to go in the bottom of the fork leg, and I completely forgot to put it in. I'm done for the day. I've had enough. I'm done. That is just, after all that mucking around and having to tap it in carefully and whatnot, and I've forgotten that, I've got to take the whole thing out again. I've got to pull the whole lot out again. So I'm done. That's me done for the day. I'll come back to it in the morning and see what happens. I really am struggling at the minute. Yeah. Right, see you in the morning.